Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my podcast, Live Your Best Life Every Day. My name is Stefan Dajo, and today we're going to be covering how to overcome the fear of failure. Alright, now, in the intricate tapestry of life, the fear of failure often stands between us and our aspirations. It is a universally human experience that keeps us confined in the familiar cocoon of the status quo, preventing us from realizing our true potential and breaking free from the chain that binds us. But what if I told you that the fear of failure is not the end, but a stepping stone towards liberation? It's time to rewrite the script, to embark on a journey of self-discovery and growth. Way too often, we've allowed the fear of failure stop us from achieving so many things. And I'll be the first to admit that at a certain point in my life, I was so afraid of taking chances. I was so afraid of taking risks. I was so afraid to do certain things because I thought it wouldn't work. But then, I got to a point where I realized something, okay? When you want to do something, when you have something in mind, unless you give it a go, you won't find rest about it. You will always have that little void deep within that's going to tell you, what if? Why not? Perhaps you could have. Perhaps you should have. And to avoid having to go through all those self-questioning and self-inflicted doubts and confusion and turmoils, it's better to always find a way to go about what it is that your mind was able to conceive, just so that you can actually feel fulfilled afterwards. Now, today we're going to be covering and going through some steps on how to overcome the fear of failure and how to unlock our full potential and allow ourselves to live our best lives every day. Alright, so step number 1 will be redefine failure. The first step towards liberation is a change of perception. Instead of viewing failure as a dead-end street, redefine it as a compass guiding you towards success. Every setback holds you invaluable lessons. And that's the thing, because whenever you fail at something, you learn from it and you utilize that knowledge to better yourself going forward or going up the highway to succeeding in life altogether. Thomas Edison said, after numerous attempts to invent the light bulb, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And that's pretty much the mindset and the thought process that we ought to adopt if we want to make it in this game of life. Embrace the idea that failure is an integral part of your journey, not a destination. Alright? Okay, step number 2. Learn and adapt. Failure is an opportunity to learn and adapt, whether you want it or not, that's a fact. But the thing is, you need to decide to learn and adapt from it. Because many people go through things, they fail at so many things. However, they never decide or choose to learn from whatever it is that they fail from, because they are too proud. They don't want to admit. And by shifting the blame onto other things or other people as to why it didn't work, they actually never get to understand the depth of, or perhaps the meaning of their failure. Does that make any sense to you? This knowledge is pretty powerful, and I will tell you this: when you stumble, you gain insight into what went wrong and how to make it right, or better yet, how to utilize that knowledge and recycle it onto your next venture. The knowledge is so powerful that it is like a weapon against the inertia of the status quo. So with each failure, you become better equipped to navigate the challenges and ultimately leading to the liberation of your full potential and capacity. But of course, you have to believe yourself in this whole process. It doesn't matter what other people say, it doesn't matter what people around you consider that your failure might be related to. You know what you have to learn and gain out of the experience that you just went through. So you might as well go ahead and do so. Alright, now step number 3. Courageous exploration. To break free from the status quo, you must cultivate the courage to explore the unknown. Quite often, we are very comfortable going about things that we know. We are very comfortable going about a certain job that perhaps a relative or a friend did or is currently doing. We are more comfortable about following careers that people that we know followed. And because it worked for them, we think or assume that it might work for us. Meanwhile, we might be caught out for something else altogether. I'll tell you this, I grew up in a family of logistics, pretty much. My dad was in logistics, my brothers went into logistics. Like, I have many of my brothers who followed the path of my dad. Now, I knew deep within that I wasn't cut out for that. Even though I had to have that hard conversation with dad, and tell him that, what, you did great, you succeeded at this, but I don't think I'm cut out for all this. That's just not me. I don't see myself, progressing in that career line or field. So what I did was I followed what I wanted to do. And at the end of the day, I wanted to be a chef, guys. Guess what? That didn't work out as I planned. But I ended up in a field where I find myself blooming. So again, you might not always end up where you want to end. You might not always end up where you think you should end based on what other people did. But at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with embracing the unknown, because the unknown is full of surprises, and the unknown can often be your path. Because the fear of failure often stems from the fear of the unfamiliar. By embracing new experiences and pushing your boundaries, you dismantle the chains that bind you to the stagnant existence that you've been having. Now you need to remember something. The thrill of discovery outweighs the fear of stumbling. It always does, when you, of course, allow it to. Keep in mind that whatever it is that you focus on will always expand. So if you focus on failure will be your portion, and that's it. Now, step number 4, reframe your narrative. Now, this is really important, and we'll talk about narrative. Quite often, many people think that we are just, making things up or trying to make things look good or using fancy words. But no, you have to reframe your narrative. What is your narrative to begin with? Your narrative is your story, is the story of your life. It's the story that you tell other people about your life. Challenge the narrative that you've constructed around failure. If your life has been made of failures upon till now, you have to challenge that, and you have to want to get out of that. They say misery loves company, and there are many people that when their lives have been made of mainly failures, what they do is they project their failures onto other people. And this is what I'm telling you. Some people in life are destiny helpers and others are destiny killers. That's why you need to be mindful who you tell your dreams to. You have to be mindful who you tell your projects to. You have to be mindful who you share your goals with. That's really important. That's the reason why instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your worth, view it as a test of resilience. The great boxer Muhammad Ali once said, "I never thought of losing, but now that it's happened, the only thing is to do it right. That's my obligation to all the people who believe in me." We all have to take defeats in life. Shift your focus from the fear of failure to the pursuit of excellence. Failure is going to happen whether you want it or not. That's simply the learning curve. Even as a baby, when you learn to walk, you failed many times. You fell many times. And have you ever seen your mom stop you or hold you from walking or from trying to walk just because you fell a few times? I don't think so. Okay? So that's the reason why in life, when you go about things, when you go about situation, when you go about pursuing any goal and you failed or you face a roadblock, that doesn't define your worth. It doesn't define your thought process. It doesn't define you as a person. You don't become a failure just because you failed at few things. No. In fact, you become a wiser person because you failed and learn from what you failed from. Does that make any sense? Great. Now, step number 5. Set realistic goals. And when I'm talking about realistic goals, I'm not saying don't dream. I'm not saying don't think outside the box, or better yet, don't create your own box. But be realistic to a certain extent. Liberation, or should I say, setting yourself free from the fear of failure doesn't demand you to conquer the world overnight. No, it doesn't. And you have to learn to do one thing at a time. Set achievable goals and align them according to your aspirations. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Have a to-do list. It could be a yearly one, a monthly one, or a weekly one. And establish little steps that are going to get you to where you need to get towards achieving your goals. Don't try to do everything at the same time. No. That would be the quickest way to get you what is the right word for that actually? That's the quickest way for burnout. And you don't want that. Small victories build your confidence and help you dismantle the barriers of fear. Because each accomplishment paves the way towards overcoming the inertia of the statue quo. That's what you need to realize. Go at things one step at a time. That's going to help you. It is going to help you. Remember, there's a difference between moving and moving forward. Just because you are moving doesn't mean that you are moving forward. You could be moving backward. You could be turning around. You could be just standing in the same place but just looking in different directions. So movement isn't a sign of progress. No. So make sure that if you have to make a move, it's a step-by-step process. Alright. Now, step number 6, embrace resilience. Resilience is a cornerstone for freedom from the fear of failure. You need to understand that every successful individual has once faced failure. Now, they may not always talk about it, they may not always share it, but they surely did, and that's a fact. So what set them apart is their ability to bounce back, underrated by setbacks. Quite often, many people think that, I failed here, it's done, there is no way and everything. But if you look at how you failed, and if you look at the elements that are part of your failing package altogether, related to that particular situation or instance, you realize that there is one thing out of that you can use as a stepping stone to bounce yourself into the next situation. And that's the reason why whenever you fail, take a time to reflect upon the whole situation. Look around you and try to ask yourself, what went wrong? How did I participate into this particular failure? And what did I do that perhaps I could have changed or done better that would have led to a different outcome or result altogether? You have to be able to think about all these particular details, because if you don't, you're going to repeat the same thing and it will become a cycle, and then it will happen again and again. But you don't want that now, do you? Because then you're wasting your time, and that's your life story. Do you get that? So learn to go about things in a way that even if it fails, you have an opportunity to bounce back. And bouncing back doesn't always mean bouncing back the same way. You can bounce back in a whole different way altogether, with different ideas and different mindset. But at the end of the day, you have to bounce back. You need to cultivate a certain spirit of resilience. That's a fact. I always tell people, here's the reason why I admire anyone who goes to the gym or who is into any sports. When you go to the gym, it's not about instant gratification, no. You don't build muscles overnight, it takes time. And because you go about it each and every day, you have to be disciplined. And because you are disciplined, you're going to see results over a certain period of time by going through a certain set of workout. And some days you might hurt yourself. You will hurt your shoulder. You will hurt yourself. And for any of you guys who are listening right now who goes to the gym, you will agree with me. But just because you got hurt doesn't mean that you have to quit gymming. Just because it's painful doesn't mean that you have to quit gymming. No, you keep going about it. Why? Because you have a goal in mind. You know what you are chasing. You know what you are looking for. And when you know what you are looking for, when you know what you want, you keep that in mind and you run towards it. That's it. So I'm telling you, resilience is key. You might make fun of everyone who goes to the gym and say, oh, you know what? It's all just vanity. It's all about the muscles and stuff like that. But guess what? Those people have a higher level of resilience than you, because they cultivated that over a certain period of time. And when life knocks them down, guess what? They're going to get up and bounce back right away. But that's what we do. That's what the gym teaches us. Do you get that? Step number 7, celebrate progress. Amidst the pursuit of your dreams, you need to celebrate even the smallest achievements. I always say this: if I went to work today and I managed to complete or meet the deadline successfully, when I get home, I reward myself. My friend and I, we often like to go to this, pastry place in Blue Waters Island, for those of you who live in Dubai, and that's a place where we like to go to enjoy the delicacies of sweet German/French pastries. There's just a delight. And on days where we have something to celebrate as a little achievement, we just want to take ourselves there and literally allow ourselves to indulge in all those, goodness that those pastries can actually bring to us. And it's all about rewarding yourself, giving a little tap to yourself and say, well done. Take yourself out every now and then when you know that, okay, you know what, I managed to close this deal. Reward yourself. And it doesn't just apply in the work environment, by the way. It applies, let's say you went for an online course, for instance, okay? It's a short course, a 3-month course, for example. And the moment you complete the course, tell yourself, you know what, well done. You know what, I think I'm going to go out today and just spoil myself a little bit, just to reward myself. It's important. It's good for your mental health to cultivate and learn and practice celebration of each and every little achievement. You need that in your life because people may not celebrate you, but as long as you can celebrate yourself, you're going to be able to move freely without necessarily depending on somebody else to clap hands for you. Does that make any sense? So practice the positive mindset that will help you stay focused on the path to liberation. Liberation towards setting yourself free from the fear of failure. In the end, the fear of failure is a self-constructed barrier. That's what it comes down to. It keeps us trapped within these confines of the status quo. By embracing failure, however, and learning from it, you reframe your narrative and you rewrite your story. And that's one thing that I'm always telling a lot of people. You failed, yes. You messed up, yes. So now what? Are you going to stay there? Are you just going to accept defeat? Are you just going to be whining about what happened to you for the rest of your existence? I mean, imagine you failed at something in your 20s or in your 30s and you whine about that until your 60s or 70s. Damn, that's a wasted life. That's a wasted narrative altogether. You could have done better. You had between your 20s and your 60s, you had 40 years. Within those 40 years, you have God knows what amount of days in which you could have reinvented yourself and you could have rewritten your story actually altogether. But you didn't do that. You didn't embrace your failure. You didn't learn from it. You didn't bounce back from it. In fact, what you did was you accepted the status quo and you eventually became a statistic. Now the question I'm going to ask you is this. Do you want to remain a statistic? Are you not tired of looking around and keep seeing the same thing that you've seen 5 years ago? Are you not tired of living the same problems each and every year? Because I know people that each and every year they have the same problem around the same season. If you're not doing anything about your life, you are wasting your life. And if you are wasting your life, just as good as not existing altogether. And you need to understand that you have a purpose in life. There's a reason why you were brought on this earth. There's a reason why your mind is able to conceive certain ideas. And there's a reason why you were given the abilities that you have. So I'm telling you today, believe in yourself, believe in your potential, believe in your capacity, even when no one else does. And don't be afraid to take a leap of faith and jump into what it is that you want to achieve. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. It's been said 1,000 times and let it be 1,001 time. Success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So prepare yourself so that when the opportunity rises, you will succeed at it. And if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. Get ready for the next opportunity that's going to come. Because one thing that I can tell you and testify from out of life is that opportunities are always rising. Opportunities are always rising. And if it doesn't rise up where you are, move and go elsewhere. If you are not on a fertile ground, look for one. Look for one. Because I'll tell you this, and this is something that many people are quite scared of. Apart from having the fear of failure, many people have the fear of what will people say. Now, I'm going to ask you, why do you care so much about what will people say? Why do you care so much that if you fail at something, people will laugh at you, people will look at you in a certain way? Why does that matter? Is it your life or is it their lives? Are you living their expectations or are you living your life? What you need to realize is this: if you have friends, family members, or anyone around you who laughs at you and mocks you whenever you fail at something, They don't belong in your life. Let them go. Open up the door and let them go. Because you don't need that. You don't need that. But again, that also should be a sign that you are carrying something. Because quite often, have you ever seen kids, or anyone for that matters, throw a stone at a tree that doesn't have fruits? No. We only throw stones at a tree that has fruits because we're interested in the fruit. That means that if you don't have any potential, if you don't have anything that you carry deep within, people won't be talking about you. People won't be trying to demotivate you. But because they saw something in you, they want you to fail, because if you succeed, then it makes them feel bad about who they are. And in fact, you succeeding in life will make many people feel like failures. And we all know, like I said in the beginning, misery loves company. So people who failed in life quite often will not motivate you to achieve anything. And the moment you fail at doing something, they're going to clap hands, they're going to mock you, they're going to make you feel bad, just so that they can kill your self-esteem and your motivation. But you must not allow that. That's why I'm always saying you need to learn to motivate yourself. Don't wait on anybody out there to come and clap hands for you. No. Reward yourself. Give yourself a little tap on the shoulder every now and then and say, well done. It goes a long way, trust me. It goes a long way. Because society nowadays is like a jungle. Filled with lions everywhere. Everyone is trying to make it to the top by all means possible. And if they have to destroy you, destroy your self-esteem, destroy your self-confidence in the process, they won't hesitate. They won't hesitate. So you have to be aware of that, guys. Beware of that. And that concludes it for today, guys. If you think there is anyone out there that you know who needs to listen to this, feel free to share it with them. Okay? And like I've always said, if your mind can conceive it, you can achieve it. Don't let doubt turn into the fear of failure that's going to keep you within the statu quo. Evolve because you can. Think beyond because you have the ability to. And don't focus on your problems. Focus on the solution that you can bring. Alright? So have a good day or a good night, wherever you are at on this wonderful globe. Stay blessed. And again, my name is Stefan Dajo, and I'm your host. Cheers.